What was you biggest, sir? This is a Wendy's moment. I worked nights at an emergency animal hospital a few years ago. One unnaturally quiet night, a sweet-looking older woman walked in and took a seat in our lobby, without checking in with me at the front desk. After about 5 minutes I walked around and asked if she needed anything, to which she cheerfully told me that her girlfriend had been bitten by a dog and she was just waiting to meet her at the hospital. I didn't say anything for a moment and watched her eyes slide over to the sign above the desk, which proudly proclaimed us as a 24-hour emergency veterinary hospital. Oh, I offered to get her some directions to the nearest human but she declined and got headed out. Still the nicest client I saw that night though. Had someone call asking for kayak rentals and the best places to kayak, despite me saying several times we were a restaurant. Ended with being told that I'm ruining their vacation. I would like to complain about your cat food selection. Direct quote, Miss, this is the pharmacy. A woman asked me where something in a store was. I stood there awkwardly, being a 13-year-old trying to sell Girl Scout cookies. I got into an argument with her on whether or not if I worked there, and she brought out the manager, who took one look at me and said I didn't and that he had never seen me in his life. I was working nights at a Motel 6 in college. Guy walks in, fall down drunk. He's left his keycard at the bar. Wants me to let him into room 123. Or whatever. I check the registration. His name isn't on the room. I tell him no. He says he knows the hotel's owner and he'll have me fired. It's a corporate-owned chain. I still say no. He screams, "Let me into my fucking room." Still no. We argue for a few minutes, but I don't budge. He wanders off. He comes back 1/2 an hour later and slams a card down on the counter. "Here's my fucking card. Let into my fucking room, you fucking asshole." I slowly slide the card back to him. "This card is for a Super 8. Your hotel is 2 blocks south of here." Someone tried to drop off their cat at the child care center I work at. Verbal directions to the cat kennel were unsuccessful. We had to walk them outside and point to the building. It was a Burger King. But a woman came in irate with a bag full of Burger King garbage that someone had dumped on the side of the road. "How could you pollute like this, ma'am? We sold the food." The person who threw it out littered. We did not. And agree that's a bad thing. She demanded to know why we didn't encourage better disposal of our food containers. And my manager, bless you Tina, just slowly rotated the bag without saying a word to show the graphic printed clearly on it that suggested people dispose of their garbage responsibly. The woman just was silent for a hot second, before yelling how we should remove "Home of the Whopper" from our signage and replace it with "Please dispose of your garbage carefully," and then stormed out. On a number of occasions patrons have tried to refund food with me. I work in a computer lab. We let people use the internet for free. There are no products, especially food. I worked in the fashion design department of a small women's college, which also had its own radio station that did a lot of historical and human interest content. And I guess one day an elderly gentleman transposed some digits. This very nice man told me all about World War II planes for about 15 minutes before I could politely get a word in edgewise and try to figure out who he'd actually meant to call. When my wife was interviewing, the interviewer inquired her how she would respond if there was an elephant in the room. Since she was unfamiliar with the expression, she continued by describing in great detail all the options she would think of to help remove the elephant from the room. She wasn't aware that they had let her continue the interview until she subsequently revealed it to me. At my job, a lady asked for tacos. I told her we don't sell that, but she could go next door. They have tacos. She screamed at me for 3 minutes straight and I was just like, ma'am, this is a pizza shop. I. Have you ever made the mistake of going into a Target with a red shirt and khaki pants? Used to work for Apple. Worked from home for pretty good pay. The customers were god-awful. I had someone threaten to call the Attorney General Jeff Sessions because I wouldn't replace their iPhone. It was that moment I realized I could never talk on the phone as a job any longer. When I was in college, a few friends and I went to Disney World. In Animal Kingdom, one friend bought one of those safari hats as a souvenir. Well, later in the day we happened to be look at a couple of sleeping gorillas on the animal trail, and this man walks up to my friend and says, "Excuse me, sir. What time do the gorillas wake up?" We still laugh about the absurdity of this question 20-some years later. The lady at Walmart who went to tell my manger that I wouldn't help her. I didn't work there. Got screamed at because coworker years ago wasn't cooking the burgers fast enough. Asked the guy if he wanted a raw burger. He said yes. I said, "We can't legally give you one, so you gotta wait." I was in a church watching a choir sing. A guy walks in halfway through the performance, sits down, waits for a break, then walks up to the conductor and asks where to vote. Was working at a bakery. A middle-aged woman came to the counter. Me. "Hi, how may I help you?" Quote, woman, "I want some tuna fish." Quote, me, "We don't sell tuna fish. Do you mean a tuna sandwich?" Quote, woman, "No, I want tuna fish." Quote, me, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but this is a bakery. We don't sell tuna fish." Woman, "I want tuna fish." Quote, me, "I understand that, but we don't sell tuna fish at this bakery." This went back and forth for 23 minutes, until she started rambling stuff about us being a useless butcher shop, which I guess is fair, since we're a bakery, and stormed out. It was one of the weirdest customer exchanges I've ever had. I worked the drive-thru at MCD's. Guy kept trying to order Nacho Grande. I kept telling him this was not Taco Bell. In fact, there is no Taco Bell in this town. He kept arguing with me. So, I just told him we were sold out of nachos. He left immediately. Used to work at Wendy's in high school, and there was an A&W on the opposite end of the plaza that we were in. It happened more often than you would think that someone came through and asked for a teen burger. Or a mama burger. I think one time some guy asked for a Whopper too. Ma'am, this is literally a Wendy's.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.